Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Cutler here in the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast, the Let's Talk to Cutler virtual book club, the Let's Talk to Cutler YouTube platform. And it's another Tuesday, and we get a chance to spend these 1,800 seconds together. And as we're chit-chatting, it is my hope that I offer something that's inspirational, something that's motivational, and something that possibly challenges you. Challenges you to do what? Challenges us all to make sure that we are showing up our best selves, even in the worst of situations, because times are proving that we are going through some of the worst situations. But it's my goal, it is my hope that for me on a personal level, that I always show up my best self, even in the worst of situations. So I really want to talk about that. I want to talk specifically this evening about making sure that we invest in ourselves, how to invest in you as we're investing in so many other things. That this is the time I think we are in times when people are looking at how can I make sure that I have everything in my cupboards that I need? How can I make sure that I have everything in my portals that I need? How can I make sure that I have everything in my home that I need? So I really want to talk from that perspective, and hopefully it will energize you, it will motivate you, it will inspire you, it will challenge you to invest in you. I think we invest in stocks, we invest in bonds, we invest in all kinds of things. But I want us to really take a look this evening at whether or not and how we are investing in ourselves. It is so very important for us to do that. And I'll talk about it in just a moment. But before I do, I want to say thank you to those of you who have been with me for a while. Thank you to those of you who are joining this evening. And for those who are joining for the very first time, again, I encourage you to go ahead and subscribe. And after you subscribe, click on the notification bell or button, wherever it is on your device. I don't know where it may be on your device, but whether it's down there, up there, over there, but it lets you know whenever I've gone live, as I am now. I'm here live in a living color. It also lets you know whenever I've added new content to this platform. So I want to say thank you all. And I also want to do a shout out to the LTTC VIPs. Those are the Let's Talk to Cutler VIPs. And from my perspective, it's those people who enter the chat first, the first three people that I see. Now, I do see that several of you are on, but I don't see all of you over in the chat. So I have the number that I can see who's on, but I don't see all of you all over in the chat. So come on over into the chat. Say hello to everybody. We won't bite, we won't fight, we won't fuss, we won't argue, we won't scratch, but we'll make everybody feel welcome here. So come on into the chat, say hi. And let's spend these 1,800 seconds together. But from my vantage point, the VIPs this evening are Paula D, Annie Cutler, and Linda Martin. It's so good to see all of you. I don't know where you may be within the here in the country, but wherever you are, if you are in an area that's having bad weather, just make sure that you take care of yourself. So if you are affected by fire, wind, rain, storm, just make sure that you take care of yourself. We certainly have the whole gamut across our country, and so wherever you are, if you have to be out and about, take care of yourself. We continue to keep our friends and family members on the West Coast in our thoughts and prayers. Sometimes it is so easy for us to forget things because when things are in the news, they are fresh in our minds, but then it is the residual effects of what people are dealing with after in the aftermath. And so let's not be too quick to forget people when the news no longer carries that as something that's sensational, something that's happening, because people are still dealing with the aftermath of all of the fires and what have you out on the West Coast. So let's continue to keep them in our thoughts and prayers. And then there are people in other parts of our states who are still dealing with the aftermath of hurricanes and tornadoes and floodings and roads that have not been rebuilt and infrastructures that still need rebuilding and repairing. So, I think it's so interesting that when the news no longer considers something important, it's almost as if things are out of sight, out of mind, but people are still they're still real people dealing with those real issues, and they're still trying to that they are unnerved, and they're reeling from those experiences. So let's continue to keep people in our thoughts and our prayers. Let's see. I think that's it. But I want to go into making sure that we invest in ourselves. I discovered this new word, and I think I may just want to share it with you all. There's a new word that I discovered, and it's oikonomics. 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 Let me see if I can type that word in the chat just so that you all will have it. Hang on, you all. Let's see. I'm going to put that word right here in the chat because I think it's a new word. It's certainly new to me. Let's see. Yeah, that's the word. And until recently, I had never heard of the word or economics, because it's the study of how a household manages its resources, including your time and your energy and your money. And I'm in another group, and that terminology has come up as we're looking at the five capitals in life, the things that we invest in and how we take care of ourselves. And the five capitals dealing with, your spiritual well-being, your relational well-being, your financial well-being, your spiritual well-being, your intellectual well-being, your financial well-being. I don't know if that was all five of them, but it's how you manage, how a household manages its resources. And as I'm having that conversation in another setting, I thought, I'd like to talk about that, or at least share some portion of that on this platform. How is my household, and my household may just be me, it just may be one person, but how is my household managing its resources, those resources being time and energy and money, and emotions and intellect and all of those things? What are we doing, you all? What are we doing with all of the things, with all of the gifts and the talents that we have been given? What are we doing with all of our special abilities, our charisma, our ability to reach people, our artistic selves, our intellectual selves, our social selves, our civic selves? What are we doing to make sure that there is a return on the investment? And I want to talk about that this evening. I want to talk about making sure that we're really investing in ourselves. I know here we are in the second month of the year, and my goodness, has it taken off? It really has taken off. But I want us to have a conversation about what it looks like to make sure that we are investing in ourselves, because we invest in so many other things, and it really means that we are working towards personal growth. It means that we're working towards really our well-being. It means that you could learn new things. You could learn new skills. It means that you could hone in on the old skills that you have. But it's just making sure that we are mentally and physically and emotionally and spiritually and relationally and intellectually healthy and well. It's about making sure that we're setting goals that really matter, not just frivolous goals or things to say that we can check off and check that box, but it's about making sure that we set goals that matter, that matter to me going forward, that matters. It puts me in a better space. It matters because it really puts me on the highway, on the road to a space that's called better. So we're setting goals. It's about making a commitment to becoming the best. But I say it all the time, making a commitment to make sure that I become the best version of myself, even in the worst of circumstances. Making sure, so that's what investing in yourself means. It means making sure that I am committed to becoming the best version of myself consistently. Doesn't matter what curveballs life throws my way. I want to make sure I've invested in myself in such a way that I'm always the best version of myself. So it puts us on this journey that helps us to handle whatever life throws our way, and whatever opportunities or whatever obstacles may come our way, that we're able to turn those obstacles into opportunities. And that's what it means to invest in ourselves. It means that we're taking ourselves to a more satisfying and balanced life. We're doing that for ourselves. So we're putting forth the effort. And I don't know about you all, but no one is going to beat me investing in me other than me. I love the fact, I appreciate the fact that there are people who have my best interest at heart. But guess what? No one is going to outdo me investing in me. And we all ought to say that. So think about it. Say to yourself, no one is going to outdo me investing in me. I think I'm just going to type that for a while, because I want us to get that. Yes, let's see. Good evening. Let's see. So I'm posting that no one is going to outdo me at investing in me. So So take that to heart and let it sink in and let it resonate for a while and think about what does that look like? What is it going to mean for you that no one is going to outdo me investing in me? What does that mean, Cutler? What does it look like? Because there are so many ways that you can invest in yourself, whether it's setting goals and getting healthy, learning new skills, keeping journals, money tips, saving money, starting part-time jobs, doing something with your gifts and talents, exercising, making sure that you sleep enough, making sure that you get enough rest, making sure that you continue to learn, that you're investing in your community, that you're traveling when you want, you're moving about, you're building relationships, you're taking care of your physical health, you're decluttering your life, your home, your health, your heart, your soul, your mind, and your spirit. And so you're investing in your personal life. And that's what that is what investing in yourself means. That's what investing in yourself means. And so on this platform, we need to have the mindset, no one is going to outdo me at investing in me. Think about these first few days of this year, what it looks like, and how things have been up one moment, down the next moment, in and out and round about, all those sorts of things. But my trust was in a higher power, but then my commitment is to make sure that I continually strive to show up the best version of myself, no matter what is going on. And can I say this to us, that when you make a commitment to show up the best version of yourself, no matter what's going on, you have created a platform of joy, peace, and hope for yourself. What does that mean, Cutler? It means that there's certain things that I can do to bring forth my own joy, my own peace, my own contentment, my own space where I'm okay, where I declare that I am the best version of myself, no matter what's going on around me. How are some of the ways that we do that? Yeah, I'll talk about some of those, but I want us to lay hold to that concept. Invest in you. This is the 11th day of the second. This is the 11th day of the second year. And here we are. Some of us have not begun investing in ourselves. And we're just letting time go by. And guess what? It will go by and it will leave us if we don't grab time by both horns and say, hang on, there's some things that I'm going to take advantage of while I'm wrestling with you, time. And one of the things that I'm going to do, and I'll talk about a few, I won't be able to hit everything in terms of what it looks like to invest in you, but I want to talk about some of those. What about embracing lifelong learning? Because one of the things that I realize is some of us think, oh, you know what, I'm not going to learn anything new. I'm okay with whatever I know. But learning does not stop once you leave a classroom. Learning does not stop once you leave a school or an institution or a university. Learning doesn't stop. One of the things that I believe is that we have to continue building our skill set. We have to continue learning things. And this does not come from a clinical perspective, but many of you know that we're almost coming up on. I am almost coming up on a year of having lost my grandmother. One of my grandmother's battles was with dementia and Alzheimer's, and I continuously say to myself, I need to do what I can to make sure that I keep my mind sharp. I need to do what I can, because I mean, we know stuff happens, diseases come upon us and all those sorts of things, but from my perspective, how do I try to combat that? What do I do about that? I try to make sure that I embrace lifelong learning, that I do things that keep me mentally sharp and mentally alert and mentally astute. So I make sure that I get out of the rut of doing the same thing the same old way. I challenge myself. And sometimes my mother fusses at me, or she doesn't fuss. Sometimes I find myself fussing at her, saying, Mom, you got to do something different. But I want us to embrace lifelong learning. There is enough out there that we don't know. And this comes from a friend of mine who used to say this, and I get it. There's enough out there that we don't know to start another whole world. There's enough out there that we don't know to start another whole world. And so I think we need to embrace lifelong learning. We need to stretch our intellectual selves. We need to stretch our mental selves. We need to stretch our psychological selves and embrace lifelong learning. That's one of the ways you invest in yourself, so that next week I know something next week that I didn't know this week. And it's not just a passing or fleeting thought, but it's something that that's tangible, something that I know, something that I can hold on to, like the term economics that I never heard of. So let's embrace lifelong learning. That's one of the ways that you invest in yourself. And can I say another thing, you all, and in terms of embracing lifelong learning, what about prioritizing? I talked about intellectual and relational and all these things, but how about we prioritize our mental health? And that's not a cuss word. That's not a bad thing. It does not make me deficient in any way to say that I'm going to prioritize mental health. I trust that we all would do that, because guess what? The financial state of a whole lot of people has a negative impact on your mental health. The financial status of a whole lot of people have a negative impact on your mental health, and you don't need to find yourself in that population. So one of the things that we need to do is make sure our mental health is a priority. It means we have to check in with ourselves. We have to check in on ourselves, and we have to do that on a regular basis. Why, Cutler? To make sure that our stress levels are where they need to be, that we're not so stressed out and so burnt out. And so we need to make sure that we prioritize mental health. Give yourself a permission. Give yourself permission to take a break. Give yourself permission to make a mistake. Give yourself permission to set boundaries. That all deals with your mental health. And get this, understand that you may not reach all of the goals that you set. You may not be today where you thought you will be. So maybe this time 3 weeks ago you thought you would be somewhere, but you are not quite there. Give yourself a mental break. Give yourself permission to make that mistake. Give yourself permission to sometimes not reach the mark. That is called investing in yourself, because you've prioritized your mental health so that you're not stressed out, so that you're not burned out, so that you're not dealing with anxiety. I think that's the wonderful idea. McDonald says journal, meditation, and reflection. Stop watching the news. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine said, listen, don't watch 11 o'clock news, because you've probably watched it at 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Listen, by the time the night comes, you've probably seen the same thing 5 times. Give yourselves a mental break. Give yourselves some mental rest, and meditate and think about something positive before you go to bed, before you put your head on the pillow. Don't stress yourself out. So prioritize your mental health. And then not only prioritizing your mental health, listen, it's still not too late to set goals for 2025. Yeah, it is not too late to set goals for 2025. Invest in yourself. Some people say, well, you know what, it's too late because we're in the second month and the year has already taken off. But can I tell you, it's still not too late. You can still set some goals. Think about what you've done over the past 6 weeks. As the year has begun, you can set some goals. Maybe some of the goals can be, I'm not going to spend money on X, Y, and Z. Whatever your X, Y, and Z may be, I'm just tossing this out. Maybe your goal is, I'm going to limit how many times I eat out per week. I'm going to limit how many times I eat out per month. Or maybe your goal could be, you know what? I'm going to make sure that maybe I'll do something new. Maybe I'll set up paying that bill on auto pay. Whatever it is, just make sure that you say, it's still not too late for me to set goals. I'm going to invest in myself so that I am able to celebrate myself. I'm going to invest in myself so that I'm able to celebrate myself. That's what setting goals is all about. Set goals, things that you can do, that you hope that you can obtain, things that you can reach, things that are measurable. Set goals so that you can reach them, thereby celebrating yourself when you do. I'm just trying to help save our lives, you all, because many times we don't invest in ourselves, and we're just all over the place, and we're like a fish that lands on the shore out of water, and we start floundering around, and we just feel so out of place and so abnormal, so out of our elements, so just struggling to make it one way or another, fighting to survive. But while we are in whatever element we are, let's take a deep breath and say, you know what? I am going to invest in myself. No one is going to outdo me at investing in me. I've invested in so many other things, so many other plans, so many other circumstances, so many other entities, so many organizations, and get this, so many other people. It's time that I make sure, no, I don't have to stop investing in them, but I do have to make sure that I start investing more in myself. I was looking at from a personal perspective, I was looking at some of my own financial plans. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to up the ante on what I'm doing there to invest in myself. I need to up that by a few percentages to make sure that I'm investing a little more there. Set goals. Set goals. And if you don't know how to do everything that you're striving to do, if you don't know how to do everything that you want to do, maybe another way to invest in yourself is finding a mentor. Find somebody who can help you navigate through the things that you want to go through. Find people who have done it and who have done it well so that you can trust them. Find people who are the role models for what you want to go through, for what you want to accomplish, for what you want to obtain, for what you want to achieve. Find a mentor, find somebody to talk to. Find somebody to help you do what it is you're trying to do. They've navigated those waters, or they may be navigating them now, and they're doing it quite well. Create relationships with those people. Find a mentor, find an accountability partner, somebody who will hold you accountable, somebody that you can trust. I'm talking about investing in you. Don't you know that finding somebody who will make you accountable is a way that you've invested in yourself? So that you can say to them, listen, when I get tired, when I get weary, when I get weak, when I feel like I want to give up, when I feel like I can't go on, I need you to push me, to poke me, to prod me, to pull me, to make sure to grab my hand and to make sure I get through, to make sure I don't give up or don't give out or don't give in. I'm just trying to help us, you all, because these are ways that we can invest in ourselves. And I say it all of the time. I say it all the time. Another thing that we can do, and you all, I hope, as McDina has said in the comments, one of the things is a journal meditation. One of the things that you can invest in yourself by doing is journaling. Oh, here he goes with that thing again, journaling, writing stuff down. That's just not my style. That's just not what I'm going to do. Just, listen, wherever you need to go, whether you're going to go to a bookstore, whether you're going to go to a dollar store, whether you're going to go to Target or Walmart, wherever you go, just go and get a journal. Just go and get something, some kind of notebook to write stuff in. Why color? What is the benefit of that? It means that you take the moment to reflect on your life. Don't you have a life worth reflecting on? Don't you go through things that really are invaluable moments that you may never get that moment again, but if you put it in your journal, you can always reflect and you can remember that moment. You can remember that powerful moment. You can remember that life-changing moment. Well, color, I'll do that without the journal. Yeah, okay, I get it. So if you're going to trust your memory with all of that, that's fine and that's wonderful. But you're going to have too many fantastic years. You're going to have too many fantastic memories. You're going to have too many fantastic scenarios. You're going to have too many fantastic circumstances to trust everything to your memory. People say to me, oh, you have such a wonderful memory. You just never forget things. But when I can write those things down and I can remember the taste, the touch, the smell, the feel, and I can remember all of those things, it helps because I've journaled those. And it's a wonderful, it's a safe space to reflect. It's a great place to plan. It's a great place to visualize. It's a great place to sometimes to express your emotions of anger. It's a great place to sometimes find yourself going into a space of forgiveness. Maybe I need to forgive. And so I've written this down and it helps me. It empowers me to forgive. It empowers me to re-embrace. It empowers me to love. It empowers me to move forward. Yes, all that through journaling. Absolutely. Absolutely. Invest in yourself. And as a matter of fact, for those of you who are saying to yourself mentally, you know what, that's color, that's one of the things that I'm just not going to do. Can I say this to you? Maybe that's one of the things that you need to do. Come out of your comfort zone and do something. Well, I just don't have the time. So yeah, I got to go and buy a journal. Yeah, come on, you all. This is 2025. Let us invest in ourselves, so that you can write down your dreams and your hopes and your goals and your ambitions. so that you can chronicle your journey, so that when I achieve that, when I reach that victory, when I reach that goal, I look back and I say, this is my victory. Oh my God, I almost went somewhere. And I think I'm just going to go there for the moment. But so that way, when I get there and I go back and look at my journal and I look at my journey, and then I can really say, you know what, here I'm able to celebrate what I call this Ebenezer moment. Because this is what my journey looked like. And I'm thankful that the Creator has led me through, and hitherto have I received help from a source that is greater than I. Write it in your journal. Write it in your journal. Invest in yourself. My dreams are worth remembering. My hopes are worth remembering. My ambitions are worth remembering. My aspirations are worth writing down. This is how you invest in yourself. And don't let this year go by and you not invest in yourself. Don't let another week go by and you not invest in yourself. Do something that you're not used to doing. Get outside of that comfort zone. Get outside of that space where everything is familiar. Get outside of that space where everything feels like a comfortable old shoe. Do something that you've never done before. How about this, you all? Here's a challenge. I read this and this one almost stumped me. How about breaking a bad habit? Because guess what? We don't all get it right the first time. We don't always get it right the first, second, or sometimes third time. There are things that we do that are not necessarily in our best interest all the time. So if I'm going to invest in myself, what about breaking a bad habit? What about that? What about the things that we say, I'm going to stop this? You know what? I'm not going to do this year. I did it enough last year. I'm not going to do that this year. Well, I found myself, I've been doing this so long and it's not really working together in my favor. It's not really working in my best interest. Well, stop it. Let's learn how to break the bad habits. Let's learn how to do things like, let's learn how to stop eating emotionally. Let's learn how to stop spending emotionally. Let's learn how to stop being so impulsive. Let's learn how to think before we speak. Let's learn how not to respond to everything in social media. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Let's learn how not to be so impulsive in traffic and letting our anger go from 0 to 10 or 0 to 100 in 3 seconds. Let's learn how to stop saying bad things and then learn it on and then blame it on being so emotional. I'm just saying. Let's cut out all of that. Thank you, Linda. Let's cut out excessive news and social media. Let's step back from some of these platforms. Let me spend my time with family and let me spend my time with family and friends more than I spend it with social media. Because guess what? And here, let me just put this in perspective. Let me learn to spend more of my time with family and friends than I spend it with social media. Because guess what? One day my family and my friends will stop breathing and their hearts will stop beating. And social media will go on. I'm just trying to help us, you all. I'm really just trying to help us. I'm trying to get us to invest in ourselves. Give me 2 more minutes if you don't mind. Usually I'm just here for 1,800 seconds, but just give me 2 more minutes because I'm so serious about this. I want us to invest in us. Let me take some time to carve out a space for the things that belong in my life. Let me invest my time in getting organized so that my home is organized, so that my finances are organized. So that my life is organized. Let me invest in me in such a way whereby everything has its proper place and its proper perspective. Let me make sure I'm procrastinating less. Let me make sure I'm ridding my life of the clutter. I'm talking about investing in yourself. No one ought to outdo you at investing in you. Let me learn how to set boundaries. Maybe, just maybe 2024 stretched me a little bit too thin. Maybe I said yes to too many people. Maybe I said yes to too many things. Maybe I had a hard time setting boundaries and saying no. Let me invest in myself in 2025 in such a way that I understand the importance and I know that it's important for me to execute and set boundaries. I'm talking about investing in ourselves, and investing in ourselves, it means that I have to sit down and be intentional and deliberate about the things that I do. If you're going to invest in a retirement fund, if you're going to invest in an educational fund, if you're going to invest in a 401k or anything, it means you have to sit down and be intentional and deliberate about what you do. Why not sit down and be intentional and deliberate about investing in you so that you can become the best version of yourself every time you wake up in the morning? I'm just trying to help save our lives and help save some of the frustrations and the anxieties and the things that we deal with. So may I suggest to all of us, and I know I owe you your time back, but let me just say this, you all, as this year is unfolding, we have to be intentional. We have to be deliberate. We have to be purposeful about every single action that we take. Guess why? Because what I do today, I want it to yield a more rewarding tomorrow. What I sow today, I want it to yield a more fruitful tomorrow. What I take the time to work on today, I want the benefits of my labor to show up tomorrow. So let me step back, let me exhale for just a moment and say, I've got to invest in myself. I'm not just working on a superficial outer person, but I'm working on a building. I grew up when we would sing the song. I'm working on a building with a sure foundation. I need to establish something that's sure, something that's true, something that I know that's going to last, so that when the rains and the storms and those things come, that I'm still standing. I might bend, but I'm not breaking, because I've invested in me. So let's do this, you all. Let's do this. Let's start by taking these things. And so let me just see if I can say them again. Simply V, let me just see if I can repeat them, so that we understand it is important to invest in ourselves so that we get this thing right, so that we're working on being the best version of ourselves. I talked about making sure that we embrace lifelong learning, make sure that we do that, make sure that we prioritize our mental health. If you get a chance to just go back and catch the replay of this and share it with somebody, but prioritize your mental health for goodness sake. Whatever you do, learn how to set goals. It's not too late to set those goals. Make sure that you find someone who's navigated the waters that you are now going through, the things that you want to go through. It is not too late. I challenged us with setting a journal, and I said, those of us who say, you know what, that's just not for me, but guess what, it is for you, so that you can track and you can track your Ebenezer moments. I didn't even talk about practicing gratitude. Good grief, maybe that's something I need to come back and talk about. All right, and then breaking bad habits, because guess what, we all got some habits that we can stand to break. That doesn't mean that we're out raping and murdering and killing. No, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the things, some of the things that we just do out of habit, out of second nature. I'm talking about learning to make sure that we get organized, making sure that we declutter our lives, making sure that we learn to set boundaries, so that by the time the end of 2025 gets here, we're no longer saying to ourselves, you know what, 2025 stretched me just like 2024 did. No, there's something that we can do about it now. What am I saying? In a nutshell, let's take responsibility for our own lives. Let's learn to invest in ourselves. Thank you all for giving me these extra moments, but because clearly this comes from a place of where there's true conviction in my heart. I want to help us to be the very best version of ourselves. So can we just keep doing what we do? Thank you all for allowing me to come into your living room, your bedroom, your home, your car, wherever you are. Thank you for sharing this space with me this evening. Let's keep doing what we do, you all. Let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Let's keep our heads up, keep our hopes up, make sure that we stay safe, stay sane. Meet me here next Tuesday, because it is my goal this year to have these kinds of conversations from the heart, things that really prick us to become the best version of ourselves that we can. And know this, that from my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. I thank you for joining me this evening. And by the time we do this again next week, tell somebody, come on and let's talk to Cutler. The man is just trying to help save somebody's life. Good night, you all.